皆さん、こんにちは。今日はベルリンの SMX Advanced Europe に来ていて、セムラシのマーカス・トバさんに、インタビュー来ていただきました。Hey, Marcus, thank you for coming. We appreciate having you again. Yep. So I have some questions about AI search. It's a hot topic now, right? So I understand you've investigated a huge amount of data at Semrush since AI search appeared. So what is the most notable change over the last half year?
I think the most notable change is that the rules you typically had in SEO, like you create great content and then you get reward, is going to be like flipped upside down, right? So you're very much used as a source, but you most likely don't get the same amount of traffic you had before. And I think this is where people have to start change their mindset, that like typical tactics that do not apply, right? And in the beginning it wasn't that clear because ChatGPT and so on, they didn't show the sources, they only showed results. And now as you see, okay, it's a little bit more transparent what sources they're using, same for the AI more complexity, you see basically that things have changed too much.
So, as many of us have noticed, responses from LLM like ChatGPT or AI mode keep changing over time. So, what perspectives should we keep in mind to adapt to those changes?
Yes. Yeah, this is a good point, right? So, if you do the same prompt like a couple of times, one after another, you have changes, right? Yes. You have changes in the position, in the ranking. Sometimes you have brand mentions, sometimes you don't have them. This is also what we analyzed, and we found, for example, that ChatGPT on most prompts is most stable. So let's say on more than 60 or 60, I think 5% of occasions they mention the same brands. Mm-hmm. That means there's a very high chance that if you mentioned in all these times, you're more important, and if you're not mentioned, you might not be relevant. But I mean, everyone that knows a little bit of the nature how LLMs work, it's about predicting, right? So that's how neural nets and all these transformers work. But the more often you're in sources, let's say in credible sources, the more likely it is that you are basically mentioned all the time. But it's true. It's really something that makes it very unpredictable that if you come up on that, right?
So in your session, you explained mentions as either sources or brands. So what's the difference between the two? And which one is more important?
So, I mean, if you get a mention, that means an LLM is showing you as basically a result within the list that the user sees very prominently. And then if you are a source, that means you're often maybe just a little label, or maybe at the bottom there is some sort of link to show the source. It means an LLM was using your content to basically generate the result. So if you really want to win, you need to be a mention, because then you get visibility. If you're just a source, it most likely just provide content to an LLM without basically any result.
Mm-hmm. How can we affect being mentioned in LLM response?
So if you understand what are the sources you use, so if you look at all the sources within your market, let's say in tech, it's typically G2 Crowd or Capterra or Gartner. So it's sort of let's say, credible, neutral sources. If you're happening there, you have a high chance that you happen in LLMs. And if you're, for example, let's say if you're in fashion, then you have to look at sources. It might be like Reddit or fashion blogs, or it might be some sort of magazines. It means you then have to collaborate with them so that you're basically named as, I don't know, a vendor, or that you have great products. And then you basically can also come up in that place.
I assume that what kind of sources are mentioned are also changing, right?
Yes.
What trend have you noticed about the changes?
Yes. So I have noticed that in the beginning, ChatGPT was using basically certain sources quite often. So let me take one industry, for example, cars. Okay. So if you want to buy a new car or a used car, they typically only use, let's say, the top sources like Kelly's Blue Book or US News, or maybe some other, let's say, heavy content websites. And now it's becoming more diverse. So LLMs have learned now in the past couple of months, especially, to use a broader spectrum of sources. So like you said, they're changing all the time. So we have to monitor what source is basically used right now, because you have to appear there. So it means the diversity of sources has definitely become much broader.
So this is the last question. So AI SEO is essentially built on traditional SEO, right? But they are not exactly the same. So what key differences should we pay the most attention to when discussing AI SEO?
Yes. So the biggest difference is that in traditional SEO, it was always about you do the hard work on your own website, good page speed, good content, good backlinks, and then you basically earn your spot in Google, and then you get traffic. the AI SEO means if your own website is basically not so relevant. So let's say you typically got traffic from Google and you monetize the traffic. In LLMs, you have to play it different. So you have to become basically relevant on other pages. So it means AI SEO means you often have to collaborate with like credible sources being used. It's more like PR. It's similar to SEO, but basically not to your own website, more towards other websites. And then at the moment you can become successful in AI SEO.
All right, thank you, I understand. Thank you for answering all my questions.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks.
Bye bye.